Try this on a 4K camera. Once again, welcome back to Rel's Rants Reloaded. We're going to jump right into it. Like, subscribe, share. What we're going to talk about is surviving Oprah Winfrey. Let's get something straight. Right now, Oprah she needs to be canceled in the black community and all communities because she's very one-sided on the things she wants to make content on and the people she wants to make content about. Right now, it seems like she's going to be the executive producer in I guess, documentary or a pic about Russell Simmons and the women that accused him of sexual misconduct, rape, this, that, and the third. Now, let's get something straight. You got all of this stuff going on. And it seems like with this chick, she only seems to go after black people. She went after Michael Jackson. Matter of fact, she's shitting on the same people that she had on her show prior times, did interviews with, buddied up with, that are of African descent. She didn't try. She threw Michael Jackson under the bus when the Surviving Neverland shit came out. And now it seems like Surviving Neverland was the first thing, and then she sent her underboss, Gail, the henchman, after R. Kelly set him up, made him look like, you know what I'm saying, he was a bad guy in the court of public opinion, not a court of law, and it's really becoming real sad because you can't really differentiate the two, and it seems like one is influencing the other, but that's another video for another time. And now we are going after Russell Simmons. It's real funny. You got pictures with Harvey Weinstein and all of these big wig executives in Hollywood that were the gatekeepers to the kingdom that gave you a pass, but you never made a documentary about them. You never questioned any of the stuff that was being said about them from women because she is a feminist. She's not for men. She's never been for men. She's not for black women in no form, shape, or fashion, even though she might throw money here and make schools here, this, that, and the third. She's not for black people. Like her show, when she had it on the Oprah Winfrey show, when that show used to come on, that was not for black people. That was for white women that had husbands that stayed home, the cooking moms. She was the Reader's Digest of a generation for white women on a visual scale. Now she's going after Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons does all this philanthropy. He makes these books, Super Rich, that's talking about wealth and health and yoga and this, that, and the third. He's putting money in communities and doing stuff for PETA and all type of honorable stuff. Some of the stuff I don't agree with the gun control and all of that stuff. But he is trying to insert change in a world that's already messed up. So what you do is, now you executive produce, and that's the bullshit about it. You put money behind it. You're worse than a white supremacist. You put money behind a project that's going to literally be one-sided and already make Russell Simmons the victim. And you're all right with that. Like, who sent you? Who is telling you to do these things? You won't do that shit about Tyler Perry, about how he made millions and almost billions of dollars when he makes his studio and people start making movies in his studio. You never said nothing about how Tyler Perry, who's your fucking buddy for now, you might want to watch your back, Tyler, on how he profited off of making black people look like we're nothing but pieces of ghetto trash that have conflicts with men and women or in relationships, and somebody's on drugs and he likes to dress up as a woman to try to conflict resolute things in his movies, but always has a woman in a struggle and a black man is the reason why the woman is in the struggle, and in order for her to uplift herself, she has to leave the black man or do some type of goofy shit while all the while he's playing puppet master in a dress. Says nothing about that. But we need to go after Russell Simmons. You never went after Harvey Weinstein, and Harvey Weinstein shit came out way before that Russell Simmons stuff, because it was like I call it the trickle down Me Too movement. You go after one person and then you just start going after everybody and trying to get them out the game. Russell Simmons might have done the smartest thing and got the fuck out of America. Because at the end of the day, if you take a look at what they did to R. Kelly, R. Kelly was literally judged and charged in the court of public opinion off of the documentary Surviving R. Kelly. Now, all of a sudden, the police and feds and whoever want to investigate shit. This is how dangerous social media is, regular media is, content creators that are creating all of this shit to, number one, slander an individual, and number two, make their TV stations and brands bigger than it was. Because at the end of the day, nobody was looking at Lifetime. Nobody was checking Lifetime for this sort of content. Lifetime always has some sort of serial killer, Hallmark movie type bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was checking nobody in those Lifetime reenactment movies or docu-pic. Nobody was checking that shit. All of a sudden, they said, boom, we got something that's going to spark controversy. And that's going to be with this R. Kelly shit. That R. Kelly shit is just like I said with O.J. Simpson. They found him not guilty. That should be good enough for people that a court of law found him not guilty. But they got to reheat the same soup, just like they do with these Negro movies every year. They got to reheat the same soup and bring something else up to the forefront. Now, all of a sudden, that's the same reason Bill Cosby's in jail. Because if for some strange reason, it is the status quo to go after, and you know what the funny thing is? It's been like this since I've been alive. It's been like this since the late 80s. Because remember when they did that shit to Mike Tyson? Remember when they did that shit to Tupac? Now, these two are not on the levels of a O.J. Simpson. They weren't at the time of a O.J. Simpson, especially a Bill Cosby. But it seems like the only way, it seems like sexual assault and misconduct accusations is the new tax evasion for celebrity black people. And it's like, once you start making all of this content and you got these big corporations that's funding documentaries like Oprah and the OWN network, all of a sudden, it's really not a fair trial. You're guilty until proven innocent. So what Russell Simmons did, he got the fuck out of America. Like a lot of wealthy people need to start doing, because it seems like anybody who's ever done something positive for black people need to be taken out. But at the same time, when you got a person like Oprah Winfrey doing this shit, she never or nobody ever talks about their own skeletons in their closet when it came to the school in Africa with a whole bunch of sexual misconduct accusations against little African children in her school, because she got all this wealth. She got big. She do movies. She had her own TV show, well-branded, billion-dollar black woman. And the first thing she did was make her own all-girls school in Africa. Why you didn't do that shit in Mississippi? That's another thing. It's like you got all of this work, all of this money. You went straight to Africa. Africans ain't checking for you. You from Mississippi, right? Why you ain't go down to Mississippi and build a school? Because you don't want real niggas to daggone get no sort of education. And when I say real niggas, I mean black folks that were taken from Africa and brought to America and then called niggas, not Africans. Africans ain't checking for us. Ain't nobody else checking for us. But what she does with her brand and her fame and her money, she executive produces stuff to knock down black positive role models in the black community. It's bad enough we don't have enough of them. But this is what you want to do with Russell Simmons. You know, you went after Michael Jackson, tried to tarnish his name, but at the end of the day, your name will never be bigger than Michael Jackson's. But now you're executive producing stuff. Why are you not executive producing shit about Harvey Weinstein? Why are you not executive producing stuff about Kevin Spacey? Why is it always a black woman coming after a black man and try to destroy his legacy? At the end of the day, a lot of these motherfuckers need their asses whipped. Because they're not being checked at all. If this was some 1990s, 1980s shit, somebody would have checked the motherfucker. Like when Wendy Williams, and she's another one, when Wendy Williams tried to say some shit about salt and pepper and Tretch checked her ass. Like it's no accountability, and you want to hide behind a court of law that really doesn't give a fuck about you because you helping them bring down a whole fucking race. Just come out the closet, say you a lesbian, say you and Gail are lovers, and everything will be everything. But you want to throw Russell Simmons under the bus. And you know what? Russell Simmons might be the smartest dude because he got all of his shit, took all of his fucking real estate holdings in New York or whatever, sold them, and went to fucking Bali. You know why he went to Bali? Not because he's guilty, because at the end of the day, if you do the due diligence and the information like I have, he's taking multiple lie detector tests that have came back and said that he ain't raped nobody. So you just want to charge a man for being a man and having sex with women. But when women have sex with men, it's sexually liberating. And it's also funny because he's not under investigation for that, or he's not on the hot seat for that. He's on the hot seat for certain women saying that he done took the pussy. And that shit is like the third deadly sin. You got murder, you got fucking kids, when I mean fucking kids, raping children, and then rape in general. And y'all trying to put him under that. That dude got a family, he got daughters, this, that, and the third. But when you do shit like that, you weaken a person's power and strength, and nobody wants to do business with you unless you're white. See, it's bad enough black people gotta jump twice as high, run twice as fast, but you always got some black female that's going to try to destroy that in one single swoop. And then when you got people like Oprah, they do it as an executive producer and try to monetize and benefit off of it. And nobody checks her. Nobody says nothing. When all of this stuff goes down with black folks, when black folks supposed to be sticking together and being united, all of a sudden, everybody runs like fucking roaches in corners. And I'm a little man. I'm the smallest man on the totem pole. I'm a nobody. There are rich, wealthy people that do the same shit. Your Jay-Z's, your Sean Carter's, all of these dudes don't do shit. They'll do something outside of Africa, Little John. They'll do something in Africa, but they'll never take care of Bankhead. They'll never do shit like that. And then you'll have, they do things behind the scenes. Why they got to do it behind the scenes? Do it to the forefront. But this chick is coming after Russell Simmons. And Russell Simmons is in Bali, in my opinion, because he's smart. You know why he's smart? Well, let's go into one thing. This is how the system is working against all of these black brothers with money. Money/wealth. They charging these dudes, and then they're going straight after their money, their assets. And how are they going after their assets? You know these dudes is going to go halfway broke trying to fight these trials. They're going to go broke because the lawyers is going to rape them. And then you're going to have other people coming out the woodwork. And that's just going to add extra work for this lawyer. He's going to charge this person. That's why R. Kelly ain't got no money. R. Kelly ain't got no money because his funds got got depleted from daggone lawyer bills. It's literally like starving out a terrorist. You got a terrorist locking himself in a house, and they and the powers that be just wait. They wait you out. You're hungry. You ain't got no water. They turned the lights off. You ain't got no electricity. You start stinking until you can't win. Until you give up. So Russell Simmons took his black ass to Bali. You know why he went to Bali? In my opinion, there's no extradition out there. Or whatever country he's in. I think he's in Bali. I don't know if Bali is the country or the city, or I think it's in Indonesia. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's no United States extradition because the United States is one of the most corrupt, contradicting, cocksucking fucking countries on this fucking planet. You want to hold everybody accountable for shit, but you will never be accountable for the shit that y'all done did to black folks in this country when it comes to slavery, when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to being fair and balanced and equal and treating people like human beings. But y'all will fall back because y'all have the federal government and allies, this, that, and the third. That's why I say the toughest thing to be on this planet is an African-American man, especially one in the United States. So yeah, you got money, and a lot of brothers don't have money. You got money, take your ass to a country where you can't get extradited. Because at the end of the day, look, they say success shows clues. Yeah, success shows clues, and history also often repeats itself. Motherfuckers know they can't get a fair trial. How you gonna have a daggone jury on the stand that hasn't seen anything that's one-sided about any sort of daggone case in America? You got social media, you got daggone information coming from the cell phones 24/7. Anybody with a smartphone that's on any jury is a contaminated jury. That's it. Look, at the end of the day, Oprah Winfrey's dead fucking wrong, and she needs to be checked before she executive produces any sort of content talking about the mistreatment of women. And I'm not for the mistreatment of anyone, human or animal, any of that shit. But before she starts executive producing content for others to slander another person's name, especially without having them even in the daggone documentary to have their say, because it's one fucking sided, she should do an inventory and laundry of the shit that has gone on in her life and the white associates that are being accused of the same shit and even worse, like Harvey Weinstein and the boys, Dirty Sam and the boys. But that's not going to happen, because once you start biting the hand that feeds you, Big Papa gonna pull out those daggone files, and you gonna be scared what them files gonna have to show to the public about your personal life, about your one-sided business deals, as far as schools and sexual misconduct with children in Africa. But that's not what, we can't talk about that. But then when we talk about that, we a hater. Very one-sided. It's fucked up. It's not right. This is D-Rel. This is Rel's Rants. If you like the show, subscribe. If you don't like the show, subscribe. Leave a comment. I know a lot of people gonna be pissed off and have their own opinion on it, and that's all good. Let's talk about this. Peace.